another contest will follow. And so, ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of this most important heavyweight championship contest, may the arm of the better participant be elevated in token of victory. This is the stellar presentation, 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world. From Camden, New Jersey, weighing 194 3/4 pounds, wearing white trunks with black stripes, the outstanding and most capable challenger, Jersey Joe Walcott. From Detroit, Michigan, weighing 213.5 pounds, wearing purple trunks, the internationally famous heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis.
Joe walks out toward the public address mic, then turns back to his corner because Walcott's not ready. Frank Fullam, the referee, is standing there with his hands on his hips, looking toward each corner in succession, turning his head, got his scorecard in his pocket, and now here comes Louis again in his white robe and just the white towel, and Walcott with the towel still over his head. Now Louis' robe is being taken off, and Fullam is opening up the blue robe that Walcott's wearing and looking to see that the trunks are right, not too high nor too low. There's no grease or anything. Walcott still has that towel over his head. Here's Frank Fullam.
Regulation of New York State Athletic Commission. In the event that you hit low, I'm going to take the round away. Remember that. And let me see you give a good fight without fighting. Shake hands without fighting. Okay.
They shake hands and turn back to their corners. There's no talk. They're jigging Joe in their corners, but Louis is quieter. The bell's done Dunphy.
Thank you, Bill Coram. Good evening, everyone. Louis wipes the bead of perspiration off his face. Now he goes to work. Walcott circles him, shuffling as usual. Walcott flicks out a left hand. It's very much short of the mark. He's biding his time, so is Louis. Early moments of this first round. It's scheduled for 15 rounds. How far will it go? Both boys are short with left leads, and then Walcott puts a light left jab right on the chin of the champion. Louis crouches just a little bit. Walcott back, thinks a little bit, shuffles in, shuffles out, pulls up those trunks again, the way Max Baer used to. Now he's doing a little dig in there. He looks very confident. Louis nails him with a right hand of the show, a solid right hand. The first right hand by Louis, and it landed. But remember, he scored with a solid right hand in the first fight. This was not quite as hard. It did not shake Walcott up at all.
He is using his left hand to the body a little more, Joe, although landing very few punches and wasting no motion at all. He never wastes motion. If they're going to wear each other out that way, why, Walcott would have to tire first because he's always in motion, practically. And once in that round, Louis fought a roar of laughter from the crowd when he stood still and waited for Walcott, as he said before this fight he would do. Now, nothing much has happened. We have gone past 2 rounds, but there are lots to come, and there'll be fireworks before it's over, you can be certain, or reasonably certain, I think. And anyhow, here's the bell, round 3, and done Dunphy.
Walcott up on his toes. Louis, a flat-footed fight so far. Walcott is short with the left hand. Here's Louis biding his time, his right glove in front of his chin to pick off left jab if they come in there. Walcott dances up and down. Louis is the aggressor. He's trying to make it a fight, and Walcott is keeping on the move. There are 2 minutes remaining in this round 3 of a scheduled 15-rounder. Not very much has happened so far, and then Louis, a left hook on the chin, but a follow-up right is a little bit wide of the mark as Walcott got out of there. That was a fierce onslaught by the champion. It didn't quite land effectively. The left got in, but the right didn't. Walcott has gloves down by his side. Time running out in this round. Here's Louis, a left jab in the chin, and Louis is down from the right close to the chin. Walcott floored Louis, who got up without any count. Louis got up quickly. Here's Walcott driving a right to the chin. Again, Louis has been on the floor. Time is running out in this round. About 25 seconds remaining. Walcott coming in on Louis, and Louis driving a right to the chin. Walcott scoring with a left high on the head. Here's Walcott taking a left hook on the chin, driving a right to the jaw of Joe Louis. And the fireworks Bill talked about are here. Louis scores with a left hook on the chin. A right over the head by Walcott, who's very wild. And now they go into a clinch. One of the few clinches in the fight so far. Time almost up in this round. Walcott short with the left hand. The bell, Bill Fullam.
Well, listen to the crowd for a second. Started then the dynamite as we thought it would, and it happened just as in the first fight, except this time it was the third round when Walcott finally threw that right hand. Looked as if he was never going to do it, but he did, and when he threw it, it landed, and Lewis went down again, came up without a count. Until then, Walcott has been landing pretty well with his left, but now here's the last round, and now here's the bell for 4, down.
All right, Bill, it's round 4 now, and the question is, can Lewis do it or can Walcott do it? Walcott, a fast left jab to the side of Lewis's face. Plenty of power behind that. Walcott looks a little bit more confident now. Lewis comes in on, drives the left hand to the body, a left hook and a right to the jaw, another right to the jaw by Lewis. He's got Walcott on the rope. He battered him for a moment, then Walcott grabbed Lewis's arm, and referee Frankie Fullam is doing a nice job in there. Has to go over and get them apart. Walcott dances nimbly off the rope. There's a nice bit of jumping off the rope as Lewis caught up with him. He drives a solid right to Lewis's face. And again they go into a clinch and tie each other up. Time is running out in this round now. Lewis looking confident now, moving in on Walcott. Lewis is strong with the left hand as Walcott puts him off balance with a left jab on the chin. Walcott puts out another left hand, cups his own right hand, ready to fire it at Lewis. There's Walcott taking a left hook on the mouth and scoring with the left hand to the body. And another good exchange. There's the bell.
Lewis went after him in that last round, the fourth, and got him against the ropes and pounded him a little in the best rally he's had so far. Joe Lewis, has been trying to reach the body with his left hand. His idea, undoubtedly, is to slow Walcott down if he can. Round 5, done.
All right, Bill. Lewis moves out of his corner very briskly. Walcott comes out a bit more casually, plants 2 left jabs on the champion's twin. Another left jab on the nose by Jersey Joe Walcott. He feints the left. He's short with another left hand. Lewis goes down into a crouch. Now he straightens up. Left jab to the body, shot in there by Joe Lewis, the champion. There's Lewis blocking a left jab and putting another left jab to the body. A fast left jab on the mouth by Lewis. That had plenty of power behind it. The old Lewis power, another one. And then Lewis is tagged by a right to the jaw by Jersey Joe Walcott. But Lewis is scoring with that left jab on the chin. And remember, that's the way he cut down Billy Conn in the second fight. Left jabs on the mouth. It was a potent left. Now Walcott himself scores with the left jab on the chin. Walcott takes a light left jab to the body. Lewis is opening up a bit more now. Walcott feints the left hand, so does Lewis. Neither one throws anything right now. Walcott backs away. Lewis is coming in on him. Walcott moves along the ropes. He's cornered over there in a neutral corner. What can Lewis do? He crashes a right to the jaw. He throws Walcott with a right to the jaw. Another left hook on the mouth and a right to the jaw. And then Walcott is forced to go into a clinch and throw it. There's a left jab on the mouth by Walcott. Walcott is tagged with a right to the jaw as Lewis catches up with him. He's got him on the ropes. He throws him with a right to the body. And then Lewis is staggered by a right to the jaw. Lewis almost went down again and has to hold on. Walcott nailed him with a solid right that buckled his knees. 55 seconds in this round. Walcott lifts the left hook to the jaw that hurts Lewis. And Lewis returns the fire with a right to the body. Lewis a left jab on the nose of Walcott. Walcott a left jab on the mouth. They're really going at it now. It's a great heavyweight fight right now. Walcott a left jab on the chin. Lewis a left and a right to the head of Jersey Joe Walcott. Bill Fullam.
Lewis was badly shaken with a right hand, the one good punch that Walcott got in that round. However, Lewis nailed him in a fusillade over against the rope with a 1-2 and shook Jersey Joe up pretty good. The warning whistle has sounded for round 6. Lewis was down in the third round for a 1 count, was nailed again with the right hand in that last round, and here they come again. Here's done.
All right, Bill Fullam, round 6 now. Walcott again moving around Lewis. Lewis biding his time. Wide open stance, a bit flat-footed. Walcott shoots out a left hand that's short of the mark. Another left hand by Walcott is blocked by Lewis. Lewis has that left hand ready to fire it. He jabs a light left hand to the body of Walcott. Walcott the right hand out in front of him. Walcott jabs the left hand to the midsection of Joe Lewis. That one snuck in there. There's a left jab below the left eye of Joe Lewis by Walcott. Another one to the same spot. And that eye may be pussing just a little bit. Walks away, then comes back jabbing a left on the chin, a left and a right to the body, and a right to the jaw by Walcott. He came on Lewis very fast that time. Nailed him with solid punches, but his right is high over the head at the bell.
That was a round in which Walcott was boxing Lewis almost exclusively, doing very well with his left hand. Both fighters are sweating profusely.
Left jab to the body of the challenger, Jersey Joe Walcott. Now again they exchange left. Walcott started a right hand, pulled it back. Scored with a left jab on the chin of Joe Lewis. Walcott feints that left hand again, takes the left jab, another left jab on the mouth by Joe Louis. And there's a right by Walcott that winds around Lewis's head. That's the bell. Stabs on the mouth. And now Walcott sort of says, that was a good punch, laddie, or something. He nodded his head in approval after he took the punch. And Walcott scores with a left jab on the mouth. Well, Louis moving in on Walcott. Walcott jabs the left to the chin. Walcott is well with the right. And he comes up with a short left hook on the mouth of Joe Louis. This has been a very good round for Louis. The bell, Bill Coram.
An excellent round for Louis Town because he was using that left hand once, one of his greatest weapons, to perfect effect. He had Walcott's head bobbing on the end of that stiff left, and don't think that is not a good punch. The tenseness is there in every round. Here's the bell. Here's Don.
All right, Bill, and as they go to action, moves his head away from the left jab to the mouth, put out by Louis. Walcott feints that left hand again. Louis feints the left. Neither one throws anything. Walcott jabs the left and nails Louis with a solid right to the jaw on the way in. A right counter, another right by Walcott is wild, and Louis hooks a hard left to the jaw at the bell.
Louis took him with the left and then with the right. Took him up a little. Walcott hit him and shook him just a little bit too, then missed with another right. Didn't seem to bother Joe much. There's no question that Walcott has the style to baffle Louis to some extent, but Louis now is solving it better as this fight progresses, particularly with that left hand. He's too is a very canny, cunning, good boxer, a good fighter, always was, but Louis is boxing better now beyond any question and is beginning to sort of take charge as they come now. This is the 10th round, as they come up to where Louis said that to intimate he was going to turn on his fight. We'll see if he can do that. Here they come. Here comes Don.
Range again. They've been a long range through most of the fight. Time's running out in this round. Louis coming in on him. Jabs the left, takes a grazing right to the jaw, and they go into a clinch in the infighting. Louis scores with a light right hand to the body. Now referee Frankie Fullam has them apart again. Content to win a round on points if he figures he's winning them that way. He puts a left jab on the chin, then takes a left jab to the body by Joe Louis. Walcott moving away. There's the bell.
There's no question that Walcott's style baffles Louis. No question that Joe keeps coming in, much like the previous fight, except Louis has only been down once for a 1 count so far as we come to round 11. He's won a lot of points with his boxing, however. Okay, Don.
All right, Bill. Here we are, round 11. And if it goes the limit, it's 4-15 rounds. And the greatest crown in boxing, the heavyweight championship of the world, is very much at stake right now. Now, the left jab that's short of the mark. Another left jab on the nose by Walcott. Walcott jabs out a left, and Louis picks it off in midair. Now Louis nails him with a left jab to the side of the face. A very hard left jab by the champion. Walcott moving his gloves around. Here's Louis coming in on him again. Louis trying to set him up for that right hand, but Walcott just won't stand still long enough. That's the story of the bout. Walcott won't stand still long enough. Louis shoots out a left jab. Walcott keeps moving from side to side. Takes 2 hard left jabs on the mouth by Louis. Louis found him with both of them. Then Walcott is back with a light left jab on the chin of Joe Louis. Louis coming in on Walcott again. Louis dancing it a little bit now, coming in faster. Blocking a left put at his chin by Walcott. 1 minute to go in the round as Walcott speeds it up, shooting a left jab on the chin, and then taking a light left jab. He's trying to baffle Louis. He's moving from side to side. Comes in with a left jab on the chin, a right cross to the jaw, a left hook to the mouth by Walcott, another left hook on the chin by Jersey Joe Walcott. And that has brought the crowd up screaming. He really opened up that time. Louis takes a left hook to the chin, and Louis hits Walcott with a right to the jaw. Louis hurt him with a right, drove another right, and Walcott is in trouble on the rope. Louis throws him with a right to the jaw, a left hook to the head. Walcott takes a right and a left to the body. Louis has him where he had him in round 9 before. And then Walcott fights back with a left and a right to the jaw. He misses the right, a left hook to the head. Louis throws him with a right and a left to the jaw. And Walcott is down. Walcott is down. We're trying to pick up the count. We can't hear the count. Walcott is trying to get up. He's on his knees. I don't know. 9. No, it is all over. Joe Louis knocks him out in the 11th round. Walcott just almost got up, didn't make it, staggered a little bit, reeled under the arms of the referee. Here's Bill Coram.
Ah, Johnny, never fight Joe Louis twice. The champion opened up when he got ready. He said he was going to do it. Walcott tried to fight him. He was game. He gave everything he had, but the big man had too much. Don, what a real fighter. What a fine defense Walcott made, but he just is not a fighter to fight this champion. Here's the official announcement.
Attention, please. The time, 2 minutes, 56 seconds of the 11th round. The winner and still heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis.
2:56 of the 11th round was the time. 2:56. Don is in the ring. They're taking pictures of Lewis. Walcott's in his corner. He's been crying. He's very disheartened. He's very blue. He made a fine fight. It would have been a pretty close fight on points. But Joe Barrymark is standing there, placid as ever. What a destroyer when he gets ready to destroy. With that sphinx-like face, he kept coming. And finally, he found his opening, and when he found it, he is the finisher supreme. He really finishes. I don't know what to tell you that last punch was. It was everything. Everything that Lewis could throw. Restless and violent was his attack. Mad and savage. And he really was mad, and the punches just roared and rolled. And though Walcott fought back and staggered him, he couldn't keep him from fighting. And when they get these pictures taken, I'm going to give you Lewis and Don Dutchy in the ring to see whether he is going to quit fighting. He has said something about it. We'll see if we can find out from him. It was a great fight for him. Here comes that courageous and fine fellow Joe Walcott to congratulate him. And now we'll turn it over to Don and see if he can pick it up.